Donald Trump is going to clean his clock.
Is it fair that Joe Biden...
DeSantis has belly flopped.
That is California Governor Gavin Newsom speaking about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis back in June, saying that Donald Trump's going to clean his clock. And just a few months later, I think he has become proven true. But that hasn't stopped DeSantis from accepting a debate challenge from Governor Newsom. That was last week. It seems like Fox News host Sean Hannity is going to host said debate between Newsom and DeSantis. The event so far is framed around many policy differences between the two governors, but with both men either actively running for president or widely viewed to someday seek the office. It's highly likely their personal differences will be on display too, that they will be on display. A strong performance, again, this is according to Business Insider, could help elevate the California governor in what for now is a shadow 2028 campaign in which Newsom already considered a top tier contender alongside fellow Democratic governors like J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, as well as, Vice President Kamala Harris. And that is sort of the rub there. Apparently, some of Biden's political advisors are miffed and annoyed at Newsom, according to NBC News, as the governor is set to debate DeSantis on Fox News. And the frustrations extends to allies of Vice President Kamala Harris. Harris allies see the debate as Newsom's attempt to leap ahead of his fellow Golden State counterpart in the eyes of Democratic voters looking ahead to the 2028 presidential race. So you gotta get in line, Gavin. I don't care what you're doing. So that's the vice president and her aides' position. Senator, what do you make of the debate that's going to take place between these two governors and sort of, Newsom's very much kind of front-facing offensive position?
Yeah, well, we know that the what you just read from one of the news sources calling this a performance. That's exactly what debates are. So let us remind our viewers that when you see a debate, it is very skewed. It is a performance. It is people trying to get those one-liners, trying to be memorable. And it's certainly very little of it is a reflection on how they were governed. Very little of it, because the whole goal is to perform and to be memorable. Gavin Newsom is going to, he's talking about mopping up the floor. He's going to rule the day in that debate. It has been shown just last week that DeSantis, and even in the past, DeSantis, even when he had the debate, while he was running for governor, he's not a good debater whatsoever. That is not his arena, and is going to be shown. And Gavin Newsom is a pretty good debater, so him going toe to toe with him is fine. As far as the vice president and her aides, I mean, it's understandable, Francesca, why they would say, "Hold up, wait a minute, Governor Newsom." You can't jump the line. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that. I think if people want to run, they should run, period. I don't care who's in the line. However, point well taken. And the vice president's people should be defending her and saying, hold up, wait a minute, California governor, don't jump the line here. But there are gonna be many, many contenders in 2028. And they're not gonna be able to stop that from happening because there is no incumbent in 2028. So let democracy, let people run if they want to run. But I get it,
For sure. I mean, I think it is. Look, I think the reality is, and I've said this before, that the Biden administration has the vice president on for lack of a better term, a short leash. That there is only so much she can do and say, and that she's kind of been tempered. Some of the fire that she displayed in the Senate, we're seeing a lot less of it. Look, I'm personally not a fan of her politics at all. I think she's a pretty craven Democrat. I also think that Governor Newsom is a craven Democrat. The difference is I see Governor Newsom speaking out a lot more than I see Vice President Harris speaking out. So, and I also, to be honest with you, I don't believe anything Vice President Harris says. She does not seem to be an authentic person to me. She just seems to be someone who likes power for the sake of power. And Newsom, for all of his faults, is at least more convincing. There's something about me when he says he's angry and upset that DeSantis is, busing migrants to blue states and violating their human rights. I believe it. Like, there's just part of me that kind of believes it. So anyway, but here's the other kink in this is that Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, actually declined an invite to debate DeSantis after she criticized him over his new standards adopted by the Florida Department of Ed regarding the teaching of slavery. And she had an opportunity and she said no. And now look, I understand this is like the debate me that dudes love to do, just debate me, please. And she declined. I don't know if she should have declined. I don't know if she was asked to decline by President Biden. But what do you make of her having the chance, but not actually debating?
Hey, well, you can't get mad at Governor Newsom for taking, for deciding to debate DeSantis. I get all of it. I mean, Francesca, the simple way of this is all politics, all of it, all the way around. This has nothing to do with changing material conditions of people's lives. This again is all show. And so the tactician or the commentator side of me, because I'm with you, Newsom is not my cup of tea either. This man sat up here and took the endorsement of the nurses and then did not push for universal health care in the great state of California, of which he has the power to do.
Still waiting.
Put that in the parking lot.
Still waiting. No, keep it in my parking lot. Like, no. That's
my parking lot is full right now.
The parking lot is very full. That's at the front of the line.
At the front, I'm just talking about these two, whether it's Vice President Harris or Governor Gavin Newsom, from the lens of just pure commentating, not whether or not I believe in their policies or not.
Totally.
So she and her team can't get mad at Governor Gavin Newsom for taking up this opportunity to perform, because that's what this is really about.
Yeah. And her polls numbers are not bearing out. It is not looking good, but we shall see. 2028 is shaping up to be very, very interesting.
Well, even that article you read, Francesca, had her as they were listing the possible contenders in 2028. They had the current vice president listed last.
Yeah, he's like, ooh, put her first. Don't show that. Don't print that out and show that to her. The aides are like, ugh.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.